Don't forget, you can reach the latest episode of Potomac Watch anytime. Just ask your smart speaker, play the Opinion Potomac Watch podcast.
From the opinion pages of the Wall Street Journal, this is Potomac Watch.
Welcome back. We are now just hours away from the first Republican debate of the 2024 election cycle. And we've talked about this some in recent days, but Alicia, we haven't gotten your take yet. What do you expect when you see these candidates on stage? And to give the final lineup, you're going to have Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy in the middle there, and then also Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, Tim Scott, Asa Hutchinson, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Although the news this morning in the last few hours is that Doug Burgum injured his leg playing pickup basketball with his staff in Milwaukee. It sounds like he's going to the ER, and it is unclear whether he'll be able to make the debate or to stand at it. And so we wish him the best. But Alicia, where do you expect the fireworks tonight when these candidates all get on stage together?
So I think there's going to be a bit of a pile on probably on Ron DeSantis because he is running number 2. I think a lot of the candidates, as we've been seeing, are going to try to skirt and maybe circumvent the issue of Donald Trump. People have said, oh, he's like Voldemort, he who cannot be named. I think maybe besides Pence and Christie, I think the others are probably going to stick to their talking points, maybe try to distinguish themselves from the rest of the crowd by saying bold things. We've seen that with Vivek Ramaswamy repeatedly, especially on the foreign policy, and which has gotten him in trouble. I think you're going to see a lot of populist, sops and throwaway lines. I don't think this is going to be a heavy policy debate. I think it's mostly going to focus a little bit to the extent that Christie goes after Trump. And again, maybe Mike Pence will try to discuss some of the indictment and maybe the January 6th, which will probably come up. But I don't think, again, this is going to be deep discussions about trade policy or healthcare, which in some ways is unfortunate because I think voters are actually really interested in hearing a little bit more about what candidates believe or where they stand on a lot of these issues, and they haven't been. Some of the polls show that about 2/3 of the GOP voters and Trump voters are open to considering other candidates, but they really want to hear more from them. And a lot of them really haven't been hearing more other than these talking points that they've been hearing in the press or on the campaign trail.
I'm starting to wonder whether we are going to see a pile on not only of DeSantis, but on Vivek Ramaswamy, young Ivy League educated entrepreneur getting in the race. There's been a lot of focus in the press lately on the fact that Ramaswamy has been on a lot of different sides of some of these issues, has made comments asking how many FBI agents were in the crowd on January 6th. Flirting with some 9/11 trutherism when he gets asked that question on podcasts and so forth. So I'm starting to wonder, too, whether some of these old experienced politicians are going to try to take it to this interloper who, from their perspective, has never been elected to anything ever in his life.
They're going to feel like they have to. I mean, look, right now, what is the race outside of Trump? It's about being the one person who gets to go mano a mano with the president. And so, yes, a lot of people are going to be dumping on DeSantis because right now he looks like the guy to meet. But Vivek Ramaswamy, for better or worse for him, has really been getting a lot of attention lately, been climbing up in the polls. And this happens to correspond with tonight's debate. And some of what you're seeing in the press is obviously being noted and pointed out by other opponents who see some of his inconsistencies that he's had along the way as an opportunity to now to try to neutralize him, as it were, knock him down a couple of pegs and make sure that he's not the person that ends up, going head to head with Donald Trump. So there's going to be two folks on stage that really will be the focus of everybody else's attention. Obviously, the other person that's going to be a focus of attention, even though he's not there, is Donald Trump. We know that Fox is going to run some clips of things he said, kind of almost act as though he's there, even though he's not. And it'll be really fascinating to me to see how much the other candidates engage on that. Ron DeSantis has come out and said that he doesn't really want to go there. He doesn't want to obsess on a person who's not on the stage. And he, in fact, wants to make tonight in the debate about Joe Biden's record, what Joe Biden is doing wrong, and what his vision is for fixing things. And that might actually be a good strategy. It strikes me that there's kind of a no-win situation for most of the Republicans if they spend their time meditating on Donald Trump. If you defend him, you're not making any marks against him. If you attack him, you're potentially alienating people. It's a tricky spot. Whereas one thing that unites a lot of Republicans is their concerns and issues with the Biden White House.
Well, we'll be watching tonight, and you can tune in tomorrow for some more reaction. But until then, thank you, Kate. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you all for listening. You can email us at pwpodcast@wsj.com. If you like the show, please hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Potomac Watch.